So now that we've created this nice little area, we would like to test it out, I assume. And in order to do that, there's a few things you need to do, but it's pretty simple to test it out. One thing you should keep in mind is that when you do test it out, because each tile has its own individual collider and game object, all this stuff over here, it's not going to run as quickly as it would run. It might lag a little bit because we haven't baked the tiles together yet. But if you don't want to worry about that, you just want to make sure that something works, then you can just test it out as is. So in order to do that, all you need to do is just go over to the hierarchy view, disable this. You don't really need to, but I like to do that. And you want to right click and then go over to the Untold Legacy submenu, or TUL, which is short for the Untold Legacy, obviously. We could press setup for gameplay, and that'll create all the objects basically that you need to run the level. From the perspective of the player, it creates the input manager, the heads-up display, the main camera, and the player, and the global object. So I'm going to put the global object up at the top there, right below input manager, and heads-up display. I'm going to put this player down at the bottom here because he's basically an entity. Alright, so now let's save the scene and run it and see how it works. Well, actually, it's not going to work, obviously, because he's floating. So if you run it, he'll just fall to his death. But anyways, in order to avoid that, obviously, we move him. So to move him, you select him, and not in the level editor view, obviously, just in the normal Unity view. You just click on him, and it selects him. And for some reason, whenever you are editing levels, it hides the movement gizmo. So in order to do that, in order to get the movement gizmo back so that you can move the character, you just press W on the keyboard, and it opens up this movement gizmo. And so I can move him around, and in order to move him while snapping to the grid, you can hold Control, and that snaps him to the grid. Just because I'm a OCD with even numbers and whatnot. So I'm going to set him down over here. And let's make his position 4.5. Alright, and let's resave the game. And cool. Alright, let's test it out. Alright, and here we are. We can move around, interact with stuff. There's a few things that you might notice, like the sound isn't working right now. That's because some other things have to be set up for it to properly work. But just for testing the level purposes, and there's no shadows also. Again, I think that's actually that's kind of just like because I forgot to set some settings in the prefabs, the tile prefabs. That'll be fixed. But as far as the sound goes, you don't really need that for testing levels. So basically, right now it's just this. Just got this player, and you can test it. Oop, looks like there's a bit of a glitch here because these these tiles don't have collision, so you just fall right through them. It's pretty funny. I never thought about that. But yeah. So that's how you can test your level. Cool. And also, if you wanna basically make this player face a different direction, you can select him here and then go over to the inspector, and you'll see all these different components attached to him. And in order to make him face a different direction, you can find the directional graphic user script. You can right click on that, and do you want to press face forward if you want them to face forward or whatever, or face left, face right, etc., etc. So yeah, that's how you do that, and that's how you make levels.